Hey, everybody, welcome back to What Elon Said with Kevin and Mark. Today is Monday, April 25th. Holy moly, we took a bit of a break, but life does not slow down in Elon land. So we are back to jump into what Elon said over the weekend and throughout today. So we will jump right into it here. So, first up, we have a whole Mars catalog tweeting this was on Friday, saying, so apparently Bill Gates hit up Elon to discuss philanthropy on climate change, but Elon asked if he still had a $500 million short position on Tesla. Bill said he hasn't closed it out yet, so Elon told him to get lost. No idea if this is true, lol. And then he showed some snapshots of tweets there
Uh-huh.
and asked Elon if it's real. And Elon did respond and said, yeah, but I didn't leak it to the New York Times. They must have got it through friends of friends. I heard from multiple people at TED that Gates still had $500 million short against Tesla, which is why I asked him. So it's not exactly top secret. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Public. I think it's kind of crazy that you're shorting Tesla. I guess I don't, again, all these things are nuances one side, but he could be shorting it. Just he doesn't think the company will make it, but he still believes in environmental, conservation.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually mean he's against it, and it could have just been a business is business. He felt the company was not going to do well stock wise. It doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't believe in the company. He's just shorting the stock. So again, I'm pointing from the view of Bill Gates of why I did it. I don't think it's a black and white case, but if I was Elon, I would definitely not donate to him if someone's betting against my company. I think it was kind of ballsy for him to ask for the money. I don't blame him for shorting Tesla. That's definitely his right to do from a financial position, but it was kind of odd to ask for the money when you're shorting the company.
Yeah, a little bizarre. And I don't think Elon has a very good relationship with the shorters of his company
No,
historically.
definitely not.
Um,
If you get a bet against
but to your
Elon, you're
point,
off
right?
the
Like, and we've
list.
talked about this before that the stock is not attached to the company. Maybe like its
No,
ticker symbol, but who knows? I mean, maybe Bill Gates even has financial advisors making these decisions for him, and he maybe wasn't even aware of the short. Apparently, he was, but it is silly to ask to partner with a company that you're shorting, essentially expecting. I wouldn't say to fail, but you're expecting the stock to go down.
that's right. That's right. And he might believe they'll work out in the end, but he just feels that in the short term it would go down. That's what a short is. You're just betting on the short term
Yeah.
implications of a stock, not the 10-year horizon. You never short for a 10-year period.
Mm. Yeah. Well,
So
in the comments to all this, it did bring to light or reiterate my opinion that most people directly connect the stock with the company, and company does well, stock goes up is what they think. And they
yep,
think you bet against the company, or you're betting against, or you bet against the stock, you're betting against the company to fail,
that's
which
right.
is not necessarily the case.
Definitely not. Absolutely not.
But
It's totally a trading move, a
yes,
short-term decision.
but it did cause a
So
lot of pain for Tesla. I think it added to the pain that Tesla experienced last
I
year.
I definitely
Or
agree, and I see both sides of the story. I
yeah,
think that both sides are right. Bill Gates is a, you know, he's notorious stories about when he was in charge of Microsoft. He didn't take no for an answer, so of course he's going to ask Elon for the money, even though he shorted against him.
mhm,
But if I was Elon, I'd be like, "There's no way I'm giving you the money if you shorted against me."
yeah,
So I think
get
both
lost.
sides are doing. Billionaires do what they do.
Now the question would be, would you go here?
I I
and
would not go there and start to make fun of the guy. I don't know what that really what I think Elon's in the wrong for this.
yeah,
I mean, there's those pictures have been going around the web in the last year of how out of shape he is,
mm.
but it's pretty funny.
Well, you read a lot of books and get less physical activity. I guess that's
That's
bound to
right.
happen.
That's
You
right.
get up there in age too, but I guess this would add a little ammo to those that say that Elon just acts like a child all the time. It doesn't. I don't think it helps his case with those people.
No, although I got to
Um,
say, after a week in Ireland, I really identify with that picture.
that's all the Guinnesses right there in your
Yes.
belly, for sure. Yeah, so Elon, of course, followed it up with shadow ban counsel reviewing tweets. So, that's how he feels about
That is
people wanting to
the
take
council,
down.
the shadowy council.
Yeah.
It was a funny
Great.
one. So he's been on a having fun, joking around. I it's not in the tweets here because he didn't comment, but on Saturday Night Live this weekend they had Elon Musk impersonation.
Oh, really?
That yeah, for Easter they basically pull out different characters, and someone did Elon, and the whole shtick was that he was trying to tell a joke, but it was terrible. He laughed at it, and always afterwards he had to say that was a joke.
That sounds appropriate for certain
Yes.
audiences that get his tweets. um, but yeah, this is the dark corners of the Twitter moderators here.
Yes, he wants to banish them. Yes.
Yeah, and so we have Brett Winton adding in here of ARC saying it's okay if Bill Gates is short Tesla. It only has an average ESG rating and is misaligned with climate goals. So long as he's long an equivalent amount of Shell oil, which has a higher ESG rated or is rated higher than Tesla, then there's no hypocrisy at all. It's all good. There's some snapshots here.
Yeah, some snapshots, and then Elon saying that the ratings make no sense, which is probably right, but I don't. It would be great to know some context on that. That's something to dig into. Like, why does it make no sense? Like, what is? There must be, I don't know how they do the ratings.
Well, yeah, I think he had some further comments on that one, but I think he's of the opinion that they're not objectively looking at just facts, and that there's a lot of woke opinion going into the grades given out.
I agree with that. So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
So interesting stuff there. Like Elon's been on hot on throwing the punches at everyone lately in his comments.
Yep. Not too
Here we have
different than normal, but a couple
not
weeks
too different.
ago, it was like
Yeah,
radio silence for a couple days after
he was
Cyber
radio
Rodeo. I
silence,
think
and
there
now
was a
he's gone on.
burnout after Cyber Rodeo, and then
I think yes, and the Twitter noise. I think he went Twitter silent.
Yep.
And then now he's back, full Elon mode.
Yeah. I mean, we got everything today from over the weekend. We've got talk about Tesla, Twitter, SpaceX, Boring Company. There's lots to talk about. Neuralink. It's all there. So we'll keep moving here. But I think this is maybe one or two more about this particular topic here, where Renee Padwell says Bill Gates preaches about solving climate change and goes ahead and shorts Tesla. But Tesla is the only company taking major strides to solve climate change and accelerate the advent of sustainable energy. By shorting Tesla, Gates has proved he doesn't care about climate change. Ooh, um, that's a bold statement there, and Elon's agreeing here. Kind of back to what we just said. I think the stock market is a financial tool, but it's also a voting tool in the short term. And Bill Gates has cast his vote, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. Elon's a mathematically oriented, scientifically minded person, and this formula I don't think works as we went through. By shorting Tesla, Gates has proven he doesn't care about climate change. I don't think A equals B, or at
Yeah.
least to B. It is totally different. It is a financial investment in the short term, not a indication of if he thinks the company will do well in the long term.
Yeah.
So
But I'll push back on that a little bit. You gotta be able to sleep at night in
Yep.
like knowing that you're making choices that align with what you're preaching. And
Yes.
I don't know that this does that for Bill Gates. Now, if you're just someone, trying to make money in the stock market and not on a pedestal about climate change and about all the books you read about it and taking action on it, then I'd say, yeah, that's fine. You short Tesla and, maybe
And
it'll
then
work out for you.
that's right.
And you could
It's
still care about
principles.
climate change. But as a public figure who preaches about it, seems like a contradictory move.
That is very fair. There are many companies you could short. Why short that one? Good point. Point taken.
So yeah, Elon finally says, moving on from making fun of Gates for shorting Tesla while claiming to support climate change action. Yeah, no, there was a little bit of time in between these two.
Yes.
I personally just like the moving
Yeah.
on from the hot topic to the next one.
To the next one. Yes.
But then, and this was followed up by James Stevenson saying, moving on from that to making fun of Moody's and SP for rating Tesla speculative. And this is a graphic that got a lot of attention as well, and he got a kick out of this. But this is
Yeah.
sort of right in line with the last one that some of these agencies may have ulterior motives outside of just objective facts.
That's true. That's true. It'd be interesting what they say
Yeah.
in response, which I'm sure they will not.
Yeah, probably not.
This I
So
like.
yeah, so now we move on to Twitter. I wrote this into the Twitter acquisition discussion, but Jack shooting out a
Uh-huh.
hi on Twitter.
Yeah. Sort of a hello world from Jack, just
Yeah.
saying hi to everyone as
Hi.
the new Jack.
New at rest, Jack, and
Yeah.
knowing that maybe his baby will be in good hands,
Yeah.
or
As
new
the
hands.
blockhead.
But yeah, as the blockhead, head of the block conglomerate there, Elon Musk liked his new title. Says your new title at Block is fire. But I just think that this reiterates their relationship and Elon's, I think, respect for Jack Dorsey and his original vision of Tesla. And I think he wants to carry that torch in some way. And I am very interested to see what Jack Dorsey's role may be in future Twitter if this acquisition goes forward.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I'm willing to bet that he continues his path of just separating himself from Twitter in general.
Yeah.
That he's totally focused on Block. I mean, he's done both roles for a long time, but I don't think many people could do the Elon level of multiple things at once.
Mm.
But I could be wrong. I think he's sort of been separating himself for a while. Like, he separated, then he came back, and now he's gone again.
Yeah.
But you never know.
I mean, he's certainly, when you look at any of his tweets, they're more geared towards Block, Square, Cash App, Bitcoin in general. Seems very passionate about that. And I
Yes.
think that is his new mission. But I would not be surprised if, he was in discussion with Elon on the side in some way, form, or fashion about this whole move of Elon's. But
Yes.
maybe not.
Maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? But nice exchange there amongst the friends.
Yep. A nice pleasantry.
Yes.
Yeah. So were you able to catch up on this at all? We'll jump into Neuralink here.
Yes. This one's a little harder to see here. But the Neuralink, I did have questions about this. Elon, here we said, Elon Musk from Teslarati, Elon Musk states that Neuralink can address morbid obesity. Experts say it's actually possible. So the experts are agreeing, as if sometimes Elon Musk's statements are not realistic.
Yeah.
In this case, they're agreeing. Elon says, in the meantime, some medication here I can't really see.
Oh, I know. Well, that's part of the whole thing is he did comment on that. I didn't include that here in all the tweets, but he's like, who's making all these names? This is getting impossible to read, obviously.
Is that it? It's very funny. Effective in appetite control. I don't know if he's making fun of it or I think he is, but he's saying there are other things in the meantime, but he's saying that he's agreeing with that basically by not denying it. And there's a number of other things we'll go through that he says it can cure, which is pretty good. He's saying any hopes of curing tinnitus, which is a hearing problem, definitely might be less than 5 years away, as current version Neuralinks are semi-generalized. I can't, it's too small for me to read. I hate to say.
Yeah. He's just starting to get into the details here of Neuralink chips and the process. So saying that that's maybe less than 5 years away for curing tinnitus, as current version Neuralinks are semi-generalized neuro read write devices with about 1,000 electrodes, and tinnitus probably needs less than 1,000. The future generation Neuralinks will increase electrode count by many orders of magnitude. Wow. There's some Moore's law there, huh? Jamming
Yeah.
electrodes
So
into
having
the
electrodes around to localized areas and somehow stimulating or fixing the nerves really just seems like a lot of Neuralink is, you know, they've demonstrated Neuralink is electrical control through control of devices through electrical impulses. But more and more, it's looking like the primary use is electrical stimulation of different nerves within your body
mm,
to cure conditions. He mentioned another number of others, maybe we'll get into curing stroke damage localized, but general full brain damage can't really be cured. But there's a lot that's going to happen.
yeah. I
And he
mean,
keeps saying,
it is. I don't know when you look really high level at all of the Elon Musk companies. It just I think this one to me is the most mind blowing. I don't know. They're all mind blowing, but and I know most people's minds, or probably many, jump right to AI integration, and we're gonna become humanoids, and kind
yeah,
of somewhat dystopian ideas. But when we look in the immediate goal of the company is to solve a lot of these neural diseases and like cure injuries and diseases that stem from the brain. So and to hear that this is some of the work that they're doing and some of the technical aspect of it is very exciting to me.
it is. And when the company was first announced, I didn't realize this was part. I don't know if it was part of the mission initially. Initially, it was supposed to be an AI interface. And it
Mm,
seems like the main applications, the breakthrough ones, are all medical related.
yeah,
So it is a medical treatment company. It doesn't seem like it's a medical preventative company, but more a medical treatment for conditions that happen
yeah,
to people through accidents and as we age, which is fantastic. It's just better quality of life, and it will be a key medical tool. The other tools for linking to AI or linking, machines is a little hard to grasp mentally to
mm,
understand that, but this makes total sense. The one thing I don't know, and maybe you do, is these cures, solutions, I should say, for immediate problem, localized brain problems. Is the Neuralink inserted and then taken out at a later date, or is it a permanent patch that's put in the body?
well, I have no idea, and I'm not sure if they've even figured that out yet. But to me, if I had to throw out my guess, I would think that it'd be a permanent uh, like addition to your body, essentially. And I'm not
Yes.
even sure how, what once the chip is added, how it knows to sew that link that's been broken. You know, Uh, there's a lot of science here that I really don't know the
Yeah.
how it works, but it sounds like they're making headway.
Sounds like they make headway and a lot, and it's amazing. A lot of it, he's saying, he's giving ranges of just within 5 years,
Mm,
sometimes 1 year, 2 years. So we'll see as we go forward. This is
yeah,
saying the machine, this robot, is part of how it's installed, and how close will it be to just having a simple LASIK type procedure, which would be amazing. And he's saying getting there. That's it's a vague answer, but it's on the way,
yeah,
incrementally improving.
yeah. And then here at the bottom, we see that the question is first trial application of Neuralink in a human by year end. He says yes.
Yeah,
So there was
amazing.
a lot of back and forth and replies to certain tweets here, but here I think this certainly physically possible was in regards to I can't remember now. Hold on, what is it? Yeah, Alzheimer's. Um, so he said, Elon, I lost a grandparent to Alzheimer's. How will Neuralink address the loss of memory in the human brain? And he says, current generation Neuralinks can help to some degree, but an advanced case of Alzheimer's often involves macro degeneration of the brain. However, Neuralinks could or should theoretically be able to restore almost any functionality lost due to localized brain damage from stroke or injury. Um,
Amazing.
yeah, and then so see, we're working on bridging broken links between brain and body, neurolinks in motor and sensory cortex, bridging past weak and broken links in neck and spine to neurolinks in spinal cord, should theoretically be able to restore full body functionality. And he's now got a pinned tweet that says, if you've engineered or manufactured smartwatches or phones, please join Neuralink. Your skills are directly applicable.
Yeah, he was saying it's similar to that type of technology, which is interesting. I guess it's more of a monitoring technology that's in the watches. So
Yeah.
really, and also the geo centric of it, like the you know, you can tell the north south and also the body sensory systems.
Yep.
Really interesting stuff as always, everything. And I haven't heard, Neuralink hasn't gotten a lot of coverage lately, so it's interesting to see what they're doing.
Well, it got some bad press. Earlier in the year, I think. But yeah, I know it's a very small team,
Yeah,
and I guess they're just doing a lot of experiments at this point. So
yeah, but it seems like hopefully they're starting to. Hopefully they'll start putting it out there where they can have models at hospitals and working with different medical professionals.
yeah, but a good mission either way.
Back to other stuff, we have Andre Kaprathi has been on a sabbatical and seems to be spending a lot of time on TikTok and all of his posts. This one, he says, search it on TikTok is becoming the next append Reddit to your Google search to get actually good results. And Elon's like, what? Really? He's, TikTok, you would not think is a good search. He didn't mention, YouTube as a, like usually it's Google and YouTube equal, but TikTok, he's saying is a good search for solutions. Interesting.
Yeah. A good brief video to follow up your Google search results.
Not often you get Elon blown away by something.
Yeah.
How he couldn't believe it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I need to check out, see if Elon's on TikTok.
Don't go to TikTok. You'll never come back.
Man, that's for sure. You look down and then look up, and 3 hours have passed.
You have 2-day shave growth.
So next we have some Dogecoin. We even threw in Dogecoin here over the weekend.
Yes.
Satoshi Nakamoto saying things that add utility to Dogecoin. 1, businesses accepting Doge. The more it can be used as a currency, the better. 2, using Doge as a tipping currency. The most pure use case that brings happiness. And 3, Dogecoin Ethereum bridge. Allows Doge to be used with Web3. And Elon replies and says, well, first one, definitely. The second is a nice to have, and the third isn't needed, in my opinion.
It stands on its own outside of Ethereum or any other platform.
He hasn't been too fond of the Web3 titles.
Yeah.
Shibatoshi Nakamoto did respond to that particular tweet and said, well, I would agree, but the reason I added Web3 is because that's where the development is in the developers. And if we can rope them in and get users of Dogecoin in that group, then it can add to the development, right?
Yeah, and Ethereum is the highway. Dogecoin is the currency.
Yeah.
So makes sense to me, but Elon's like, we're going it on our own, but we'll see.
Well, I don't think he's bought the source code to Dogecoin yet. So
yet.
All right. So this one's I don't know, might be a little small. Is it small to
a little small. We have Tesla extracts insane. This is from Sawyer Merritt. Tesla extracts insane amounts of innovation per R&D dollar spent. Here's what some of the big auto companies spent on R&D in 2021 versus Tesla. And at the top we have VW spent like almost 17 billion in R&D, which is very impressive. I mean, they definitely are vesting in the future at VW for a lot of things. I don't know the breakdown for electric versus other initiatives, but I know that they are rolling out new EVs that people have been impressed with at a much faster pace. They are adapting very fast. So That is the most impressive R&D. And Toyota and Mercedes doing so, but there's still a lot of investment. 9 million almost for each,
Yeah.
8-9 million. And then followed GM, Ford around that same level, and Honda, all lot. Tesla,
Yeah.
2.6 billion, much lower. But then Elon responded with an interesting anecdote stating that strange how these things are bucketed. I think of the whole company as being R&D.
Yeah.
So he's saying that their budget is much higher because the other companies just have a portion of their budget, and he feels that every bit of the company is constant testing and improvement. It's an iteration.
I love this tweet. I mean, to me, this just provides so much insight into Elon and how he envisions companies or how he runs companies.
Yes.
Um, to just say that no, R&D isn't just some budgeted division of the company. It is the company.
It is the company.
We
Yes.
can have a focus on a particular product or service, but every element of the company is researching and developing in order to make that product or service better.
Genius.
Yeah,
Like it's
I
not,
love it.
yeah, it's not just, oh, here's the plant. That's not research and development. His plant is research and development.
Yeah, I thought it was a
Yeah,
great tweet.
it is. So it really makes the numbers irrelevant in the
Yeah,
way that they were shown
yeah,
before.
exactly. Yeah, I'm not sure like what time frame that was or anything, but yeah, I
Mhm.
thought it was just such an Elon response,
Yeah, absolutely.
and more of a takeaway than any of the numbers. You know? So on to Tesla, we also have Holmar's catalog saying, "I'm living the FSD dream, and it is amazing. It just works so consistently and reliably in Silicon Valley now. Just had another zero takeover drive across the Golden Gate Bridge." And Elon responds saying, "Next beta release has many improvements, especially for complex left turns in heavy traffic." And then we go on to this morning where Tesla Economics says robo taxis will be happening. Anyone that thinks Elon and Tesla are lying is living a lie themselves, right? He says, "Yep." And we got
Yep.
a cool
And
picture of a New York City yellow Tesla taxi there.
yeah, first time I've seen that. That's nice.
Yeah, awesome.
Impressive.
Um,
Um,
man, I don't know what's your thought today on robo taxis and FSDs? Are you feeling so after having spent a week in Ireland? Are you feeling like more confident, less confident? Feeling like well, will work
I
some
was,
places, not the others.
I was on those smaller roads and locations, and um, I am actually pretty confident because I felt that as he said, the next beta is fixing complex left turns and heavy traffic, and I don't think either of those conditions were too present in Ireland. The biggest present issue was navigating those smaller roads. There's
Mhm.
definitely eye contact that needs to happen.
Yeah,
Um, but and I think that will be an issue for those smaller areas. But overall, I think they could do it. And I'm interested to see if that robo taxi vehicle is smaller or bigger. I don't know what it's going to look like,
mm,
and that might be able to get through those little roads.
yeah,
Um, but I've and just by the announcement that they're actually going to manufacture that announcement was like, all right, they figured it out, because they would never invest in doing an entire volume production of a vehicle that they would not expect to get approved for the roads at this point. Like they feel that they've achieved it
yeah.
in their testing before.
Or it's like all data points are pointing towards achieving it within a known time frame.
Yeah, so they're really betting the company to do that.
Yeah.
And being on those roads, I could see it. There were a few cases it was a little complex in the towns where you don't really know if it's a two-way street, but it was one way. um, but otherwise, I see it coming, and I see it coming fast, and I see no one else doing it at the time. So it's going to be, it really is going to be a before and after world where 300 years from now, they're like, wow, that was weird before
Totally.
robo taxis.
Uh I don't know. I was driving around today. I had to take a driving lesson in order to
Yes.
get the drive here.
Yes.
Um, but I don't remember whether I saw a crash or heard about it on the radio or just was experiencing like some closeness on the road. And I just thought, this is so crazy. I can't even believe that we're allowed to do this now,
I know.
Like
I know.
this to me, and I'm also flabbergasted that this is not a top priority for governments around the world to accelerate this happening and
Yeah.
to eliminate deaths and injuries caused by car accidents on the road every day.
If the government was to the point of militant takeover of the alcohol approval system, at least in the United States, where it went to 21, and it only went to 21 because the government said we will not give you highway funding if you don't raise your drinking age to 21. 90, I think 70% of the states were not going to raise it.
Mhm.
That's the leading cause of accidents, but that's a detriment to the enjoyment of people's enjoyment and also to the economy. But if they took it seriously, but here they're showing that they're not taking it really seriously, that they still want people to be the person in charge. It's too dangerous, way too dangerous. It's crazy why it's not the biggest priority.
Yeah, it should be a top priority, and it should have full government support. Is all I'm saying. I know there's a lot of priorities in the world that governments need to take care of for people,
But
but this, like, if we can drastically improve the safety of transportation, it should be a top priority.
yes, and people want to be safe. They'd rather not drive. I mean,
I
I saw
just
in
think that
Ireland.
most people don't see it as a safety measure. Most people see it currently as like a technological advance,
That's a great point.
or
That's a
or
great point.
additive to your car. You know?
Yes, and at this point, they see it as a dangerous advance because they
Yeah,
feel it's
yeah,
not something that can be trusted.
yeah.
Meanwhile, it'll be flip in a couple of years.
Yep.
And then people want safety. We saw in Ireland what's selling like crazy right now everywhere is Guinness and Heineken 0.0, no alcohol beverages, which used to be a joke,
Yep.
are now top sellers because people are afraid of
Very
getting behind the
conscious
wheel.
of.
And they don't want to harm someone, and they take it seriously. So if there was a robo taxi out where they just have to pay, as Elon said, the price of a bus ticket, why would everyone not get that? And then feel safe, no liability, and much cheaper. So let's go. Let's see it in 2 years.
Yeah, man.
This
I
will be
wish
a
I were
different
closer to
world.
New York City like that to see some of those. I don't know. We'll see where they play out
I'm
first,
going to be in
but
there tomorrow with my phone out, taking pictures if I see
do it.
one.
All right. Well, a couple other things here. So moving on to boring company now. As I said, we touch on all the companies today. This is a list of the top 10 cities with the worst traffic in the world. Horrible. There's New York City right
Yeah,
there, number 5.
right there.
And Elon responds and says, "Tunnels, anyone?"
That's awesome. It's
And then
touching on everything this weekend.
yeah, Jana Kreider responded with a tunnel loop from Baton Rouge to New Orleans would be awesome. He said, in the coming years, Boring Company will attempt to build a working Hyperloop. From a known physics standpoint, this is the fastest possible way of getting from one city center to another for distances less than 2,000 miles. Starship is faster for longer journeys. And saying that Hyperloop for us then, Baton Rouge is just an hour north of New Orleans, and it would be helpful, especially during hurricane evacuations. And he's saying underground tunnels are immune to surface weather conditions. Subways are a good example, so it wouldn't matter to Hyperloop if a hurricane was raging on the surface. You wouldn't even notice. That's an interesting, might have lost me a little bit with that last one. But I think it would definitely get people out faster, I think.
Yeah.
Although
So
the
there's
idea
no,
of like a log jam, traffic jam inside of a hyperloop while there's a hurricane upstairs is a little terrifying to me and probably to some other people. But
yeah. Maybe people could just go down there and wait for it, Well,
Yeah,
it's gone
there you go.
on.
Just jam all the people down there
Jam all the people in there. Cram in.
people mover.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I've heard him say in the past also that, which I don't understand how it works, that even if they build it like in Japan or in California, earthquakes would not impact it. Like earthquakes are felt much more on the surface than underground or something. So the Hyperloop would be unaffected.
Wow. Okay. I also thought that the Hyperloop was above ground. At least the rendition I saw of it was above ground, but it's obviously not where boring's going with that.
Yeah, I think initially the concept was above ground, like it was gonna be vacuum tubes or something.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I'm not sure how that works. That's how they used to talk about it, but maybe I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not sure what happened to that concept. I haven't heard about that concept in a while.
Yeah.
But he's saying Hyperloop is underground anyway here. So
Well,
I
he's
don't know.
saying he would build a Hyperloop using boring tunnels.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Well,
I mean the boring machine would bore
would
the
do it.
tunnel and then they'd build the Hyperloop.
What's amazing to me is like, to have a tunnel like the Big Dig in Boston took like a decade, and just to build any tunnel
Yeah.
now for like a quarter mile is like astronomical work.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, yeah, we'll build a tunnel between Baton Rouge and NOLA.
Less than
Anything
2,000
less than
miles and we
2,000
can
miles. I was like, what the hell
drill
what kind
right
of
through
machines are
there.
they going to have there?
Yeah, I don't know. That's like on a bucket list of mine now is to get out to New Orleans or not New Orleans, Las Vegas, and experience the tunnel there.
Yeah,
But
do
hopefully
that.
there'll be
And
more in the future that won't be so far away from me.
that's right. And Irish NOLA, Irish NOLA, Irish boring tunnels. You need that
We need
cork,
one. Cork to
or
Dublin,
corks of Dublin.
less than 2,000 miles.
Yes.
Yeah, so here we have just one tweet about SpaceX, Watch the Dragon, and I think it's Axiom 1
Yep.
astronauts depart the space station and return to Earth.
Yeah,
When is that happening? Or did that already
that
happen?
happened.
It did? Okay.
Yep.
Amazing.
I think it did. I'm pretty sure it happened today. I think last night.
Yeah, I started that interview with Jared Isaacman and the ARC team.
Uh,
It's
yeah.
good stuff already, really good stuff. He's very well
Oh, for
spoken
his
individual.
company.
Very interesting
Yeah. I
guy.
wonder when the next one for his company is. That it's really more a charity, right? But
Well, they
I'm
have the
interested.
Polaris Dawn mission, and he's heavily
Oh
involved
yes,
in that.
yes. So that'll a lot of interesting things happening. And I read in that some article back there about. Oh yeah, I read an article about that Axiom, and they are planning to do a mission every 6 months for the next couple of years, but the next one's not going to be until early next year.
Okay.
But they want to have every 6 months for about 2 years, and then start building out their space station onto the module, their little docking area that they're going to live in, separate from the space station, and eventually detach.
So are Axiom gonna? You're talking about Axiom?
Yeah,
Are they gonna actually have the launches or just use SpaceX?
they're using
Okay.
SpaceX and they're using the Dragon,
Yeah.
but SpaceX says they might not build any more Dragons. They have 4 Dragons right now, which will operate for years. But then down the line, it'll just be Starship, I think.
Yeah.
So
And a lot more
fast things. Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is our last topic of the day, and this was from this morning, where we have some public releases of a texting between Elon and the one of the heads of the Saudi Public Investment Fund here, and these look like direct interactions, but it really lays out the whole incident about funding, the discussion about funding from this investment fund, relating back to Elon's tweet about considering taking Tesla private, funding secured, and if you read these texts it really shows Elon's frustration with the fund's kind of lack of um, I guess, press release or commitment or public commitment about their agreement
Yep.
for the funding, and he really was frustrated with all that, and it led to him saying no deal, essentially.
In the end, he kept it public.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is good for us.
And here he says that the head of the Saudi PIF committed unequivocally to take Tesla private with me, as witnessed by the Tesla CFO and several others. This is why I said funding was secured.
Yep.
And then he also replies to Pranay Padhole here. He said Tesla at that time in 2018 wasn't in a good financial situation, and the SEC knew that the funding was secured, and SEC still decided to go ahead with the investigation. And Elon says the San Francisco office of the SEC were shameless puppets of Wall Street short seller sharks while doing nothing to protect actual shareholders. That is why I lost all respect for them. Yeah. Interesting saga.
Yeah, and still going on in ways.
Yeah.
This is still a battle with the SEC all the time and short sellers we talked about today.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I thought whole Mars Catalog's comment earlier was in the previous page is interesting that he talks about how Tesla was probably going to commit to build a factory in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And in the end, the Saudis invested heavily in Lucid, and they wound up committing to build a factory there.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing it didn't happen. So I think he would have been too beholden to place a factory where he didn't really want to. I don't see why a factory in Saudi Arabia would be logistically
advantageous
advantageous in the short run for a couple of years, maybe down the line, but it really doesn't seem like a hub of transportation to the key markets at this stage of Tesla's career. Lifetime.
I agree. I think I still go back to the opinion that I think all of this hangs on whether his tweet was serious or not. Now he's now claiming that it was, and the evidence is pointing towards that. But given the line that he used and his relationship with the term 420,
yes,
I just don't know how you can't add a little bit or interpret that a little bit as humor.
Yes.
Now, whether that should result in what it did, I don't think so. But I think that the tweet itself, to say that there wasn't humor involved in that, I kind of feel like Elon is not giving the whole story there. And maybe funding was secured, but maybe he knew, I was never gonna agree to that deal. But I don't know.
Well, it's funny. The SEC, I won't go into it too much, but it's funny. The SEC, they're always like in a tough situation because they're kind of like the TV censors years ago, because it wasn't designed to regulate the conversation speed and level that happens on Twitter.
Yeah.
So it really puts them. They feel like they have to enforce things that are unenforceable. It's just getting out of control.
Yeah. And they move at the speed of like
government.
Yeah. Government and legislation and laws.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Kind of wild. So interesting Elon weekend.
Very interesting. We had a lot to talk about. We'll see where all this stuff goes, but I don't know. I feel like the future is bright. So
yes, indeed.
And the saga continues, and there's never a dull moment, as we say. So I think we will wrap it up there. And hope everyone enjoyed the episode, and we will try to get back to a regular schedule of this.
Yes, indeed.
Springtime rebirth. So, all right. See you tomorrow.